The speed of the acceleration is so rapid and it looks so good doing it. So I'm here on the Ningbo circuit and I'm driving quite slowly because it's raining and I don't want to crash this pre-production car because that wouldn't be very good. Hello, you join me on a very rainy day here in Ningbo. We're about 2 hours south of Shanghai and we're here to test something very special. Now, this is a car from a brand which didn't exist 1 week ago, but it's here and we're going to drive it around this circuit. And I think this is the first electric hot hatch ever produced. This is the Zeekr Zero from Geely and this is fully charged.
Don't forget our great EV giveaway. Subscribe and enter for the chance to win one of several electrifying prizes, including one of 4 electric cars.
So you may be a little confused because you saw this car at the Beijing Motor Show announced as the Lynk and Co Zero. Now, Geely have been gobbling up lots of different brands as part of their strategy over the past 10 years or so. They have Volvo, Lotus, London taxi company, Smart, all of these brands. And then this is their newest one, which was announced just 1 week ago. But the most important thing is what's under the skin, not so much the branding or the logos, but it's how this thing drives and how much this is actually a really good hot hatch. So like I said before, it's what's under the skin that really counts in this. And this is based on Geely's SEA architecture, so Sustainable Experience Architecture. What that basically means is this is a modular system that can be expanded, built out, so it can cover small cars, big cars, and small light trucks as well. And this is open source, so other manufacturers can use it in their products. So Volvo are definitely going to be using this. I think Daimler have said they're interested in using this, and we're probably going to see this in the next Lotus. So one of the first things you're going to notice about this car is the camouflage. Now obviously this is the pre-production version. The full versions will be released later this year. But I can talk about some of the features of this car. I don't have all of the details right now. They'll be released in a few weeks. But what I can tell you is that it has a very big boot. Now, as you can see, it's actually quite a large bum, or quite a big backside. But that does help with the boot space. So if you open the boot, goes all the way back, and it's even got a useful little pocket down here. Now, if you fold down the back seats, which you can do, it's got 2,144 litres of boot space, so quite considerable. Now, there are a few features I can talk about this car. There's not many, but one of them is the range. Now, the range of this is 700 kilometers of NEDC range, which is very impressive. You know, but that does mean it's quite heavy. Again, I don't have the exact weight statistics, but I do know it's probably over 2 tons, which is quite a lot for something that's a performance car. Now, this does have an incredibly impressive 0 to 60 time of 3.88 seconds. And we were doing some 0 to 60 testing earlier, and we went around the circuit, and you know, it blows your socks off in such a kind of compact car. And you know, it's not wallowy, it's not vague, it's always scrabbling for grip, it's always fighting. You can feel the wheels. Like if I'm driving fast on the circuit, it's really like trying to grip and go around the circuit and keep you attached to the road. It does have all-wheel drive, and there will also be a rear-wheel drive version, which is very exciting. Now in the car, I've got some features. You know, it's got the normal eco mode, standard mode, and it's also got sports mode. Which is the mode we're in now. And I'm not actually using it, I'm not going very fast because I'm talking to camera and I don't want to crash. But it does have a drift mode. Now, unfortunately, I can't test the drift mode today, but it shows that you know, Geely or Zeekr are really thinking about the performance aspect of this car. You know, a lot of the EV models we've seen are quite dry actually, and a little bit boring, and if you want people to adopt EVs, make them fun, exciting, interesting, and just like this, and you'll get a lot more people adopting it. I will do a fast lap in a minute on camera, and you can see me pulling some silly faces, I imagine, but I'm really impressed by this whole package. Now we can talk about some of the exterior features of this car whilst we're standing here in the rain. Now, some people don't like the design styling of the Lynk and Co cars, but I actually really like this, and I think this is great for the new Zeekr brand. You know, they've got these big, aggressive, bulbous headlights at the front, which I really like. I do quite like the camo as well, even though that's obviously not for the production model. Now, as we come round, we've got these rather large wheels. These are a standard 21 inches. So this really does tell you that this car is built for performance. And I told you can get also 22-inch wheels. One of the interesting features about this car, because it's all about performance, is the charging. So on an 800 volt charger, this can charge, give you 120 kilometers in about 5 minutes, which is very impressive. Now, one of the features that I will show you a little bit later is the automatic doors. So I think you just press that, just like that. That's quite nice, isn't it? And obviously when you get in as well, it will close as well. Now I do think this does look a little bit like the Jaguar I-Pace in profile, with this big overhanging bum at the back. So I've got my normal charging down there, I've got my fast charger here. And then as we come around the back, I really like this angle and the spoiler they've got at the back. Again, it's all about that performance aesthetic, but it's not just aesthetics, it's actually quite fast. Again, they've got the Lynk and Co kind of styling at the back here with the really nice LED lights, and that big boot space. It's littered with cameras. I don't know how many at the moment. I can see one here, but I know it's got cameras, sensors and self-driving capabilities, which we can't actually test today. Now I want to show you the interior of the car and get me out of this rain. Now, open the door, just like a Japanese taxi. And as I get in, now there's not actually much I can show you in here because it's all been covered up because this is still the pre-production version, but I can tell you there's a small screen here, which is a great size, massive screen over here with all of my entertainment and controls for the car. Now the seat in here is actually quite low, as suited to a hot hatch or a performance car, and I can adjust everything in here. I can adjust the steering wheel, and it's actually a really comfortable place to drive fast. Now one unique feature is this is the key. It's a little card, place it in here and the car will start. Now the other neat feature obviously is the electric door, which I've just shown you, but if I put my foot on the brake, bye. The electric doors in the back as well. So I've actually have a lot of legroom in here. So this seat is set up for me in the front. I'm 6 foot. I've got plenty of legroom in there. And then in the back, I've actually got a lot of legroom as well. I would say the floor feels a little bit too high. As you can see, I've got this under my legs. I wouldn't feel comfortable after a long journey, I think. But you know, it's not fancy in here. I've got some basic features. I think I can see a LCD screen down here for probably the climate control in the back. And I've got this really nice stitched leather. So the guys were telling me actually there's no plastic in this car. It's mostly leather, Alcantara, and more natural materials. So it's actually very nice. And I think you could comfortably fit 3 adults in here. The best bit obviously is this glass roof, which is providing not much sunlight today, but it does make this cabin feel a lot more spacious, because to be honest, the windows around the side, you know, it's quite a low car, it's quite low, it's got quite a low squat, and it does mean that the visibility is slightly reduced. So this does really help with that. Right, so let's do a little bit of a hot lap in the car. So I'm just about to enter the main straight. Here we go. So I'm going to put the beans down. I mean, 120, 130, 140, 150, and I'm going to start braking because it's very wet. But I'm really enjoying driving this car. So here we go around the first corner, and it's fighting for grip because it's wet. Then we heavy on the brakes around the corner, hit the apex, and then off the accelerator. It doesn't spin at all. I'm putting the foot fully on the accelerator, and what, round the corner, and I'm pumping the accelerator, and then we go to the next corner, heavy braking, and no drama at all. Here we go round the corners, gripping. I'm doing about 70 kilometers an hour, gripping, not skidding at all. Steady on the throttle, and we're going round again. Oh, and a bit of aquaplaning, and we're back on the power up to 140, and we're braking as we go to the next corner. But I've never been in an EV where I've been able to do this. Now, you know, I'm in quite a unique situation where, sorry, power's on. Power, 150, and we're braking. Excellent brakes. Obviously, in those massive wheels, you can have those big brakes. And we corner, sharp cornering, and back on the power, and it's straight out, really sharp and focused. And we're into the chicane, going around, hit the apex, very planted, no drama at all. And back on the power, out again, and then, you know, I'm being pushed into the back of my seat, and we're going round again, and absolutely no problems at all. And I've completely messed up that corner. I should have taken it a bit wider, but anyway, and it's really making me reconsider my own choice of car. It's practical as well. You know, I can get my family in here, I can get some luggage in here. Oh, it's a very compelling car. So what an absolutely cracking day that was. We got to experience the car's performance, driving around the circuit. I got some professional racing instruction as well, which was brilliant. This is a really, really strong start for a new brand, but it has a lot of history behind it. It has the strength and the might of Geely behind it, who know what they're doing with electric cars. And this is really a statement saying, we're here, we're doing performance, and we're going to make it relatively affordable. Thank God it's not another big SUV. I'm glad brands are now starting to consider these smaller cars more performance orientated. I think what these guys have done is taking it to the next level with this car, and I can't wait to see it fully released later this year. So that's all we've got time for. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, seeing me get wet in this beautiful mountain setting. There's lots of lovely links around this YouTube video for Patreon membership, YouTube memberships, subscribe button, and all of that lovely stuff. And if you have been, thank you for watching.